Thank you, Deputy Mayor and members of Council. My name is Ariana Kippers, and some of you may recognize me. I do work in the Councillor's office. However, I am speaking on behalf of myself, a community member, and my neighbours in Greater Forest Lawn. It took me weeks to write my first message, and today I come with a completely revised message for Council members and my fellow Calgarians. I was born and raised in Calgary, born to second-generation immigrants and Métis ancestry from Northern Alberta. 33 years ago on Sunday, I was born at PLC and spent my whole life in East Calgary. Pembroke Meadows, Temple, Monterey Park, and now Dover are all the places I've called home. All on the east side, all on the side that is frowned upon or looked down on. I love the city and could never see myself living anywhere else, and I want nothing more than my children to stay here and to expand our family in this area. I also want other options for my partner and I as we age and become unable to do all that we have on our large parcel of land. I have been privileged enough to always have a home to live in, but I see and spend time with many who were or are currently on the streets or sleeping in their vehicle. I break bread with them at the Alex every week, and I'm speaking on their behalf as most of them do not have the luxury to know of these decisions or discussions and to be able to attend without being monitored, followed, or looked down on. I do support blanket rezoning, but I want to highlight some very important trends that Council should keep in mind if they want to win Calgarians' trust back. Neighbours are understandably upset, but we cannot be the city who says no to building and providing homes for people who have none. A home is a basic human right, and people can overcome and thrive when that need is met and when they are welcomed back into society with open arms. We all have a role to play in solving this problem, and no matter the history, we all need to come together as Calgarians. It is time for every single neighborhood to do its fair share in welcoming new and different homes in their communities. Maybe I'm the only one who was taught by my elders to always be kind, to respect people, especially your elders, and to never judge someone by how they look, where they live, or what clothes they have on their back. These homes will not bring scary people, but they will bring new neighbors and new friends and new children and new eyes on the street to keep your neighborhood safe. Yes, some communities were master planned based on arbitrary zoning rules which began in the early 20th century. Victims of this segregation have and continue to be the poor and marginalized, which zoning consistently throws into neighborhoods with the worst public services. Less than 4 row houses per 100 single-family homes is not going to ruin the character of your community. In fact, I foresee it enhancing the character of your community by allowing you the opportunity to educate your neighbors on its history and to help them maintain this legacy that is so important to you. Administration, I appreciate your amendments and presentations prior to the meeting yesterday. It was a relief to see that you have responded to the concerns of constituents. I do hope that those are held to account as you finalize your amendments for approval. Calgarians have spoken loudly about their opinion to Council over the last few weeks. Many other citizens have not been so vocal, and we need not forget those who are too busy or unaware of this process to be a knowledgeable participant. It is interesting, the percentage of people I see here versus the percentage of demographics and how it's split up in the city. I do not see full representation, and that's something that you cannot forget. There are thousands more who know nothing of this. This doesn't mean they don't deserve to own a home, and going forward, the city and developers must be thoughtful and inclusive with new developments to also support aging in place and the accessibility needs on individuals over time. We are in a housing crisis. Most are visible and frowned upon or feared, such as encampments, while others are unknown, such as having too many people and not enough bedrooms. There should never be a but after those statements. However, a call to Calgarians to step back and see the other side. At any point in every single person's life, they could go through that life-changing moment that spirals out of control and winds up with them on the street. Being homeless is being lonely, which then leads to depression, substance abuse, mental health conditions, or sexual assault from living in an unsafe environment. These disadvantages begin to pile on, which leads to a huge gap in wealth. Throw in additional layers such as language, gender, sexual orientation, and the Canadian right and goal of home ownership is inaccessible and unfathomable to many. This was not the city I was proud to grow up in, and I'm disappointed at where we are, but I know we can get back to a good place because I know we do care about each other. Respectfully, Council, I urge you to vote yes on rezoning to provide fair and equitable policies that support affordable housing and sustainable community development, so it is recognized as a human right. With that in mind, please keep these very important notes tucked into your amygdala. Unhoused people are demanding housing now. This home is here strategy means nothing to them if they can't work towards a home now. Find different ways to use vacant land to build tiny self-sufficient communities and do it quickly, please. With this increase in housing, the city and council need to advocate to provincial government with more urgency to review and update facilities providing electricity, heat, and water. If amendments are made, let's aim to include any changes without wasting more time in building these houses quickly. Look at requiring the build of co-housing similar to the Ogden Hub 29, which is housing 29 families this month. If we remove government funding in visible and restrictive and segregating zone lines and start remembering that these are human beings, these are our seniors, families with mental or physical disabilities, newcomers, children, imagine how your life or your grandchildren's life would look if they couldn't shelter in the safety of four walls. Let's truly invest in affordable housing and support.
Ms. Kippers, you're at time. Are you almost done?
I have one last sentence.
Read that last sentence, please.
Let's truly invest in affordable housing and supports to build a strong economy for our future. Let's build a future for our children where lessons we teach them are visible all around. We take care of each other and we take care of the land.